Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today we have some further news to cover regarding Year 5 Season 2 of The Division 2. If you missed it, yesterday we covered the announcement of the PTS for this update. It begins tomorrow, Friday, September 8th, and if you want the full breakdown of the patch notes and everything that we are expecting tomorrow, I will leave that video that I did linked in the upper corner right now, so you should check it out. And I did also want to let you all know that I will be streaming the PTS tomorrow right here on the channel at approximately 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, so tune in and we'll go over all of the new stuff. It'll be a lot of fun. But today, since the drop of the patch notes yesterday and my video going up, we've gotten quite a few different clarifications on a few different important topics that the community wants to know about from the developers. And so that's what I want to go over today in order to, like I said, just keep you on the loop and give you all the latest information on these pretty pressing topics. If you're not already, all of this stuff goes down on Twitter. I regularly ask the devs questions, put out my own posts, all of that kind of stuff. And if you want to stay up to date fully with these things and get the notifications a lot faster than I can make these videos, you should follow me on there. The link for it is down in the description. But let's get to it. Now, the first thing I wanted to talk about is something that we did mention in the video yesterday. But I just wanted to further clarify here since we have official confirmation from the game. This person asked no incursion on the PTS, and the game replied saying no incursion, only the gun you can get there. I made a post about this then yesterday, just talking about how this does confirm that the incursion will not be present on the PTS, and it does add quite the surprise element for when Year 5 Season 2 goes live, because obviously only people who've play tested and have NDAs know what's going on there. Otherwise, everyone's going to be experiencing it for the first time when the servers go live. And I think that's going to be quite exciting. That's similar to how, some things were experienced back in the day in the Division 2 or the Division 1. And I'm hoping that that means the technical state of the incursion is in a solid spot and it doesn't need that additional testing. But if not, then we're going to have a pretty fun time on launch day. Next up, we've got some new information about the drop properties of the exclusive exotic that is available in the incursion. Again, we covered this in the patch notes yesterday. The new Ouroboros SMG will be exclusive to the new incursion, and so now we have some further clarification about how that's going to work. Morton first put out a post where he said the incursion exclusive SMG is not guaranteed upon first weekly clear. Now, I read that and I was a little bit confused, and so I asked for clarification saying any further clarification on the SMG's drop properties. Will it be structured like the raid exotics? Can we continually farm the incursion for a chance at it dropping, akin to some of the Division 1 exotics tied to specific missions? Now, the reason I had asked this is because those are two very different systems, right? The first one, the raid exotics, you have, a 10% chance to get it from the final box, and then every boss has a 1% chance that persists throughout the week. You don't just have to do it on your first weekly clear, right? And then this other method that they used more back during the Division 1, you had stuff like the Barrett's chess piece that was exclusive to Lexington Event Center. I think even the Golden Rhino was exclusive to the Dragon's Nest incursion. And those had a flat drop rate that stayed no matter whether it was your first weekly run or a consecutive one, right? So if you wanted to just farm that thing over and over and over, you could. And fortunately, we got our answer to this. We had a response from both the game and Morton. The game said same drop rates as the raids, both for bosses and caches. So this confirms that the new Ouroboros SMG will have a 10% drop chance on your first run of the week. And to back that up, Morton said first weekly clear has a much higher drop chance, but as with the raids, there is a tiny chance with each completed boss encounter. So what we can gain from reading both of these is that the Ouroboros will have a 10% drop chance on your first weekly run of the incursion per character, and then after that, if you want to rerun it, you'll still have that 1% chance from each boss encounter. And that is pseudo confirmation here that the incursion will have multiple boss encounters, which is pretty sweet. But yes, that is how they're going to do it. And I'm fine with that, right? 10% chance on the first run per character gives you an incentive if you want to run it with multiple characters. After that, a 1% chance. So you still can continually farm it if you don't get it that first time. I think that's a fair system. I don't think they're going to do the same system where you have to get the different keys as you're progressing through the incursion and then you open a chest at the end. I have a feeling it's just going to be a boss drop, or maybe you just open a free chest at the end. Either way, I doubt the key system will be present, but we will see. So that's everything on the Ouroboros and the incursion drop rates. Let's move on to this other part of his original message where Morton said to clarify, DZ vendor exotic caches do not contain raid exclusives. This was a big question that I got on my video yesterday where people said, well, that's great. Now that they're adding these exotic caches into DZ vendors that you can purchase with DZ resources, but do those include the raid exclusives given that those do now drop in the DZ as of Season 11? And so we get that confirmation here that they do not contain raid exclusives. I'm sure people are going to have thoughts on that either side of the discussion. So yeah, that's your answer. And the game's official account did go on to clarify that the exotic caches purchasable from the DZ vendors are the exact same ones that you can get from Countdown. So whatever is available in those ones, which is just the general exotic pool that doesn't count quest items and whatnot, those will all be in there. And then lastly, after the patch notes yesterday, and we saw that the new gear set is Firecrest 2.0 with the Exuro set, we saw there's a lot more stuff going on with status effects. A lot of people were voicing their concern about the rising prominence of status effects in PvP. This has already been an issue for a very long time, but specifically since they added the St. Elmo's engine in Season 1, a lot of people have just been becoming more and more fed up with the kind of workings of status effects in PvP, right? And so Morton did come out to clarify to say, we know that status effects are powerful in PvP, and we will address this listed on the known issues board. Now, to show you what he's talking about right here, they put this under investigating a little while ago, saying PvP status effects from various weapons require a revision. What's interesting is that any comment that I saw Morton or the game's official account make on this subject yesterday, since the patch notes went out, they don't just limit their scope to weapons like this says, right? They imply that status effects from skills, other sources, just their general application in PvP will be addressed. I do hope that's the case because statuses have been quite prevalent for quite a long time, but we will see. There was also no timeline for this, either nothing from the devs comments or on this. There's no timeline given. It's unknown if these kind of changes can make their way into a subsequent Year 5 Season 2 patch like 19.1, 19.2, or if we're looking at more of a Season 3 thing, maybe even Season 4. I'm hoping not. It does seem to me like the DLC in Season 4 is when they're going to implement a lot of big foundational changes to the game, and that's when something like this might go into effect. But I'm really hoping that they're not announcing this stuff, 9 months in advance at this point? That seems a bit excessive, but we will see. My friends, that is everything I have for you today. Just wanted to provide you all with that extra bit of information that we have about Year 5 Season 2 heading into the PTS tomorrow, and of course the full release in just a few weeks' time. Let me know your thoughts on everything we covered, from the Ouroboros drop rates to DZ caches, PvP status effects. There's a lot in there. Let me know your thoughts on it. And if you want future comprehensive news updates like these, consider clicking that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. And I will see you all in the PTS tomorrow. Again, I will be streaming at about 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Tune in. Would love to have you. That is going to do it for me today, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. RogueGold. Ow.